Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, and today we're going to talk about the Zello application for PC. If you have a smartphone or an iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, Windows Phone, please refer to my other videos regarding the use of Zello on these devices. If you don't know what is Zello, Zello is a walkie-talkie application. It changes your smartphone or PC into a worldwide walkie-talkie. The application itself on the PC version is kinda difficult to understand, but there is a very steep learning curve, so you will learn very quickly how actually this application works. Once you have created an account on Zello, I recommend you to go into the status and edit my profile to eventually upload a picture of yourself or whatever you want to have as a picture, and fill in all the information in the profile information window so people who want to be in contact with you will know who you are, where you're from, what languages do you speak, etc. Because if you go into the profile application and you fill in the languages, it is important because in a further stage I will explain it to you. You can have trending channels, and depending on the language that you choose, it will pop up the channels that might be interesting for you and might be interesting for the region where you are. So please do not forget to indicate what is your common language that you are using. I'm going back to the main application window, and from here on I'm going to start to explain how this program actually works. Like any walkie-talkie, you might have channels, and in Zello you can also have contacts. Now, what is a channel? What is a contact? A contact means that this is a person that you know and you want to approve to talk with, or you want to have as a person to have a point-to-point conversation. A channel, on the other side, means that you might have in one channel up to 1000 users you can talk to. Of course, it's a walkie-talkie application, so that means that everybody needs to talk after each other, so it's not like full duplex like a phone system where if you talk and the other person talk, you can hear them. So basically it's a push-to-talk application. On the first screen that you see, in the first, you will have two tabulators. So you will have recents and you will have contacts. Now, what does it mean? If you go into the contact tabulator, you will have a list of altogether the channels and the users. Now, this is a channel, and the channel is very nice or very well easy to see that the channel actually is a channel because of the round circle and the little dot in the middle. This here is a user. It's a standard user that comes with the application just to do some audio tests. This is another user that I have approved. This is a user that has been approved but is currently in standby mode. I will explain and come back to this in a few moments. And this is a user that I am waiting to be approved as a contact. So I just send him a contact request and I'm waiting his authorization. As long as this person has not been authorizing me, I will not be able to talk with this person. I will come back to the channel system right away, but let me first explain you the users. If you see this icon here, it means that the user is available, and if you start to talk with this user, they will hear you right away. Now let me explain you. Here you have another user, which is my smartphone, and if I click on there and I push on this button over here, they will hear me right away, and there will be a point-to-point contact between myself and this particular user. Let me do it. I'm going to push over here. As long as I am willing to talk, I will need to push, because it's a push-to-talk like a walkie-talkie. If you want to talk, you need to push on the button. So I'm going to push right now and say 1, 2, 3, and you will hear my own voice coming back over my smartphone. 1, 2, 3. So this is how it actually works. It's important to know that in front of every user you have a little icon which indicates the current status of the user. A status means that you can actually be in available mode. You can be also in busy mode. Now you can see the user Kurt 16OZ457 is in busy mode. If I start to talk to this user right now, he will not hear me, but the audio will go in some kind of a history. So another possible status is that the person is offline or is currently in standby. Now what does that mean, standby? Standby means that the user, in this case here, you will not be able to talk with this user, and the audio, if you talk with this user who is in standby mode, they will not even, it will not be recorded, so it does not go in some kind of a history. Also important to understand is that the user who is in standby mode is still reachable, but you can reach them by sending them a small text message. So Zello has its own text messaging system built in. Let me explain it how it works. If I want to send text message, I can click on the name and I can right click on there and I can just send them a call alert. So this is an alert, there you go, and it functions like a small SMS text message system. Now be aware that this is a pretty aggressive SMS system, in the sense that if the person is in standby mode, it means that they might have turned off their Zello application on their smartphone. There is still a small fraction of the program that continues to run on the smartphone that captures these small messages. When you send a message, and let me just do it, I'm going to go offline, I'm going to exit the application on my smartphone. You will see me in standby mode. I'm going to send myself a text message, and let me do it right now. This is an alert. I'm gonna send it. You hear my phone just starting to beep. This is a text message, how it sounds, the text message of Zello. So if somebody is offline, turned off their application on their smartphone, they are still reachable. Now it's an aggressive way of sending an SMS. Be aware of that, because the user on the other side will have this beep sound every minute until they have acknowledged the alert from Zello. So in the sense it's pretty aggressive, because if the person on the other side is asleep, they might just wake up because of the alert information, and they might just wake up. So be aware of that. I'm going to wait a couple of more seconds and you will hear my phone just giving this alert again, and it will just continue to alert me until I have really acknowledged this Zello alert or Zello SMS message. Now you can add users, and to add a user you can go to tools and you can add a contact. You can try to search for their email address, or you can try to search for their username. Let me just do something like that. I'm going to search for, let's say 2 November Charlie 605, who is my friend, and it will go and search. Apparently it's not the correct username. Let me just check here on my phone here. I'm going to open my Zello application, and I will try to find his exact information. Now anyway, I think it's self-explanatory. I think it explains itself, so I'm not going to make too much of a fuss about it. But my point is, if you want to add a contact, you can add it this way. Now next to all these users, so just be aware, if you click on here, it means that when you push to talk, you will actually only talk with this user. If you light up this one here, you will only talk with this user. If you push on here, you will only talk with this user. Okay. Now you can sometimes also group users together. There is something like create a group, and let me do that. Group 1. And you can actually drag one of these users into these groups. Multiple users, let me do 2 users. And when you click on here, all the users in this particular group will hear you. So if I start to talk 1, 2, 3, you can see. Okay, you can see that 3 of them actually lighted up, and this is because there's 3 users in this particular group. Now I'm gonna delete this group, so this is also an option. And just one little message for Mr. Christian out there in Tonga: you can use this system for your radio station. It's because there's one more thing I want to say. The channels, I will come back to this right away, uses a lower bandwidth than having a point-to-point contact. So the codec and the audio quality when you have a person-to-person contact is higher than the audio quality when you are in a channel. Now let me explain these channels here. If you go to the channel, you can actually see who is in the channel. In this case, there are only 3 users in this particular channel at the moment. I can go back to the main screen by pushing on this arrow that was right here. Before maybe I should talk about channels, I should talk about the status of the application. You can change the status of your application right here. Downstairs you can see, you can go to busy mode. Now what is busy mode? Busy mode means that the sound and audio that comes from the Zello application will not go through your speakers, but will go in some kind of a history. And you can always play back this history. So somebody who is in busy mode means that this person here is will not be able to hear you, but will be able to listen to your messages later by just going to the history. Now let me just give you a small example, and I am going to talk from my smartphone into this application here on my PC, and you will see what will happen. This is a test. 1, 2, 3. If somebody starts to talk and you are in busy mode, the application keeps a history of the information and the audio that comes into the application, and it will actually indicate here with this little icon here that something went into the history, so somebody has tried to reach you. Let me just click on there, and if you click on there, you can listen back to the history. You can also go to the history just by going to view history, and it will also give a reflection of all the activity in the Zello application. Let me go back to the main channel, and I am going to send 2 messages. This is message number 1. This is message number 2. And you can see in the history here that there is a small indication of a 2, which means that there are 2 messages that you have been missing because of the fact you are in busy mode. You can always click on there and listen back.
Number 1. This is message number 2.
So you can listen back to the history. You can also go and click on the arrow to quickly play back all the different histories and listen back to all the information that was sent to you. Let me go back to the available mode, and if somebody tries to send you a alert, coming back to the alerts, you will see it appearing that way. There you go. So you can answer and if you answer, it will actually light up the user who sent you an alert, so you can quickly answer back to this particular person. Channels. This is important, and very important to understand what is a channel. The channel in the contact or in the list here is indicated by this small little icon. A channel means that in one channel you can have multiple users. In this case, there are now 5 users in the channel 27.555. Now, this means that if you double click the channel, you will have a list of all the different users. Same story, you can actually start to talk in the channel. To be aware and to be sure that you are talking into the channel, go to the main screen and just click on the channel. If you want to talk into the channel 27.580, you just light it up and start to talk over here. If you want to only talk into the channel 555, you light it up and you start to talk and push to talk over here. If you want to talk to a particular user in the channel, you can have a display of all the users over here, and you can also start to talk in private with one of these users, even if they are not a contact. So let me do that for you. I'm going to go to this user over here. If I start to talk, I could talk to this user. I'm not going to do it because it's late at night where they are, and I don't want to wake them up. I'm going back to the main screen, and I need to explain you very fundamental regarding the channels. You can add channels, and to add a channel you go to Tools and you go to Add the Channel. If you add a channel, you can search for all the channels that exist on the Zello application, and I can tell you there is about a couple of millions of these channels, so there's many channels out there. Let me explain you. If you want to search for a channel, let me see, let me say channel Thailand. I'm just giving an example. You will have a list of channels that will appear over here, and I have written down a typo. There you go. And you will have a list, and you will see how many subscribers there are for every single channel. And if you want to add the channel, you just go there and you add the channel, and finally you will have the channel in the channel list over here. So there are currently 5 users in the Thailand channel, and you can visualize these users just by clicking to the channel. I'm going back. I'm going to delete this channel, and I'm going to take a channel that is very, very busy. Add the channel, America, many people in there, and maybe USA is going to be even better. And you can see there's 13 people right now in this channel, and there are 56,000 people actually subscribed to this particular channel. So I'm going to edit, and I hope there is some activity, because I want to show you something very fundamental. There are currently 15 users online. Now imagine you have a couple of very busy channels here. What happens if in one channel there is some activity, and in the second channel you are connected to, there will be some activity. There you go. Okay. I can disconnect from the channel. So you can disconnect just by going here to connect and disconnect to the channel. Okay. Now something that is very fundamental and very important to understand: if you have multiple channels, the application will actually play back all the activity in the different channels in a queue. It will queue up. So if in channel 1 somebody starts to talk, and at the same time channel 2 somebody starts to talk, you will hear the one that started talking first in channel A, and it will play back channel B, queue it up and play back channel B when the first channel, the activity has stopped. So please understand, this is very important. If you are connected to multiple channels, it will actually queue up the information on the different channels, and play it back the way that it actually came in. Why is this important? Because if you are in a channel and you don't want to be interrupted by any user or other channel you are talking to, you can turn on solo mode. Now let me just delete this channel again, and let me explain you what is solo mode and how you turn it on. This is channel 27555. Imagine I only want to talk with people in this channel and only on this channel. You can right click and turn on the solo mode. Now what happens if I am in solo mode? There will be a small icon over here that will indicate that you are in solo mode. If I start to talk with my smartphone to this user over here on my PC, I will not hear my own 1, 2, 3, but it will go into the history, and you can see it right here. So it goes into the history because I only want to listen all the activity in this particular channel I am in solo mode on, which is 27555. So I can play back the history, but I am still in solo mode on 555. This is very important, especially if you are going to use our repeater system. You can turn off solo mode just by clicking on this little icon over here, and at that stage you have disabled the solo mode, so you will hear all the activity from all the users, the contacts and the channels again in a queue system. Now you can also create your own channel. So if you want to create a channel, you can create a name for this channel, you can give a description, and you can indicate the system that you want to give, or the specific specifications of the channel. So you can create a channel, you can create a name, and you can indicate the channel specifications. And this is important because if you create a channel, if you want to create your own channel, you need to know about the different channel types. There are 3 types of channels. Anybody can talk and listen, so this is an open channel. Only owners, moderators and trusted users can talk to each other. This is a select channel. And another type of channel that you have is the channel called Zello Cast. It's this one over here, where only the owner and the moderators can talk, and all the other users can listen. So in fact, if you have a channel and it's an open system, there are no different user levels in the channel, except there is a creator, the channel creator, and you've got the users. Okay, but if you create a channel and you change the channel system, or the channel type from open to, for example, select, so a selection of users can use this channel, then you will add actually different levels in this particular channel of users. And you might have trusted users, untrusted users, you can have moderators, and you have the owner of the channel. Every type in this hierarchy of channel users have different priorities. So of course the owner is the king of the channel, he's the god, he can do everything. The moderator, the owner can indicate somebody to become a moderator in this channel, and the moderators can also approve users, and approved users are called trusted users, and the non-approved users are untrusted users. That's a select channel. If you have the Zello Cast, it means that mainly this is used for people who are approved, so the channel moderator and the owner are the only guys who can talk in this channel. I will make a separate video regarding this system of types of channels and the channel types and users, because it's a little bit complicated. Let me now explain you all the different options that you have in the Zello application. We've gone over all the different things here except for changing status message, but I think it's obvious what it means. And change password. Sign up means that you can create a new user from here as well, so you don't have to go through the installation wizard again to sign up for any new account. Let me go to the options. One more thing that is important, maybe I forgot to mention this. You can also see over here which is your internet connection quality. So if you see that this one is pretty low, it means that you might just have interruptions and the bandwidth is probably not sufficient to have a smooth audio TX and RX. And one more thing I want to add is the recent. This is the last activity that you have had in the Zello application, so you can quickly go here and see who has been active or what channel has been active the most recently. Now, so let me go to tools and options, and I'm going to try to go very quickly over the different settings. Display notification while sending a message has to do with the alerts. So if you send an alert, you will get a message displayed, or it goes into the history. Displaying notification while receiving a message, same story, so this is for receiving. Displaying trending channels, let me just turn that on, and let me just go to the trending channels I'm applying here. So if you go into tools and add a channel, you will have trending channels over here. So these are all channels that are actually interesting for the language that you have chosen in your profile. So if you have chosen something like Japanese, you will all have Japanese channels over here. If you have chosen Chinese, you will have Chinese channels over here. So you can actually have a list of channels that might be interesting to your location. I'm going to turn it off again, so I'm going to turn off display trending channels. Change status away, important because I turn it off, also because otherwise everything goes into the history, and probably you might not just be aware that you are currently in away mode, so in status away. Allow multiple instances is interesting if you have different accounts and you want to be connected to the Zello application with 2 or more accounts. So you can turn that on that feature. Sign in when Zello starts, so this is something I want to turn on. It's easy. When you just start the program, it will automatically just sign in with the last username and password that you have used if you have saved this in the sign in screen. Language is obvious, and updates, well, you can of course check these updates. Controls, this is interesting. Push to talk, if you want you can map one of these buttons that you have on your computer just to use this button as a push to talk. I can, for example, use the space button, and instead of using the mouse I can click on the space to push to talk. Hands-free is another one. Let me just put it to let me say the shift key, so let me do that. And repeat last message. If you quickly want to listen back to the last message, you can map one of these keys with something that you have on your keyboard, so it's very easy. Turn on the Vox for hands-free. I'm gonna turn it off for a second because I want to explain it to you, but let me first go over these here. These are all alerts that you can turn on and off. So if a new conversation, so if a message comes in, you will have this kind of a beep that comes in front of the message. Let me just play it. Okay, incoming message alert. This is when a new message comes in. Clear to send alert. Okay, this is some kind of a noise that you get. So these are all alerts. You can play around with it. I think it's pretty straightforward. Now I turned off the turn on the Vox for hands-free because I want to show you something. I have not used this button over here, but we always have been using this one here, 1, 2, 3. So you can actually also lock. So if you click once, it will actually lock your TX, and you just have to toggle with your mouse to turn on and off the transmission of your Zello application. Now this works if you don't turn on the Vox system. So if you go to control and you turn on the Vox system, it will actually be having a Vox function. So if you turn this one on, I don't talk. Okay, so when I stop talking, it will actually, or when I start talking, it will go into TX mode. So this is the Vox feature. You can control the Vox feature settings by going to the Vox group here, and there you can indicate the threshold for the activation. So this is when you put it lower, you need to speak louder. When you put it higher, you need to speak less loud to turn on the Vox, so to automatically. Be careful, it's very sensitive. The deactivation threshold means that you need to have a specific amount of noise that goes below a level for a while to turn off the Vox. So that's another one. This trigger time means that you need to have a little bit of noise before the Vox is turned on, and this is in milliseconds, so in this case it's 2 seconds before it starts to turn on. And then the relaxation time means how long does it need to be silent before the Vox actually turns off. So this is what this Vox is all about. I will give a separate video if you want to set up a repeater system for your CB radio in SSB, because this is actually what we will use if you want to use and set up a repeater system. Audio, very obvious. This is the input of your application. Sorry, the output. This is the input. You can change the levels. Noise suppression might be interesting if you have a lot of background noise, so you can turn that one on. This is the amplification to turn the audio higher and lower for your audio settings. And then connection here. Now if you get into trouble with internet connection, you should go to this part of the section of the program, turn on TCP if you have some issues, and try again with the TCP settings turned on and see if it gets better. I would not recommend to turn on the proxy server because it will create supplemental delay, and yeah, the proxy authentication comes with the proxy server. So people who know something about proxies, they know what I mean with this. Let me just go back to the program and finalize this video. Always check that you have the latest version. This is version 1.4.0, so always try to use the latest version. Of course, this is very self-explanatory. This is an incoming message, this is an outgoing message when you go to the history of the program. And I think we have gone around the different aspects of the program. If you like this video, if you want me to make some new videos, just put the thumbs up downstairs, this YouTube video. Thank you for watching, and I strongly invite all the CB operators to join us on 27.555, where all CB operators actually join together. 73, thank you very much, and hopefully we can talk on the radio or on Zello. Bye bye.